agenda, the April 1st, 2026 agenda in our minutes from March 4.
Second.
Second by Radke. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Public comments on agenda items. Anybody have anything?
Nope.
Okay. Chairperson comments. I have 3 of them on old business, new business correspondence received, and I'll wait till we get down to those topics. Ben, take her away, DPW.
So I will start by kind of following the agenda, summer help update. So this, I just got them, updating FHR on this. We've had 3 applicants for summer help. One returning from last year, and 2 new ones.
Is that again?
Eric Mock.
Oh.
And 2 new applicants. I did interview both of them this week. I think they're both good candidates for summer help. One is graduating from Mid-State and could pick up a full-time job in the meantime. The other one I think is definitely a good fit for the village. I did some research and did some numbers, and basically it'd be a $5,000 difference between last year to this year if we put on three summer help compared to 2 last year because of the wages. Obviously last year we had a 3 and a 4-year returning, which there's an increase every year that they're there. So this year we'd have a 4 and then we'd have 2 on the bottom. So that's why it's only a $5,000 difference. And I also used Memorial Day to Labor Day in that number. Both of these new people would be graduating from college and one would be going to college and high school. So you don't have a lot of, sometimes we get our kids that go earlier and later. And we've got some extra work to do with legacy parks and things like that. I hate to say no to one and all of a sudden I don't have anybody. We've had that issue. So I feel very confident within the budget that we can make it work out. So at this point, unless you guys had some big concerns, I think we're going to move forward and end up putting 3 on instead of the 2. I mean, some years that we've had 4, some years we've had 1, 2. I mean, we've kind of been all over. It just depending on the applicants and also what we have for work and justification in the budget. So you guys have any concerns on that at all?
No, it's just, I think it was back in Dell's day, Lon, if you can remember that, the board finally told them, why are we getting involved outside of approving them, but not in on the interviews or stuff like that, because you guys know how, like you say, your interviews went well, and I just think it's the way to go.
Yeah, so if you guys okay, I won't really have a motion. It'll just be an update on the administrative report at the board meeting. We haven't did a motion last year about, again, it's in the budget.
We'll see if it's a
So-
good budget in it.
Yeah, personally, I would feel better with a motion, just to make it legal with spending the money,
Okay.
even though it's in your budget.
Yep.
Technically, you're supposed to have the board approval.
Is you okay that underneath the administrative report, or would you like to bring that back next month underneath Public Works and then through FHR?
Just do it.
Okay, all right. So that's all I have on summer help. Next one is the Second Street
Oh.
project.
Put it under your caption at the board meeting.
Okay.
That best place, right, Betsy?
Yep.
Okay.
The second part of this is a Second Street project update. We got the Second Street basically on the south end from Edwards to the municipal building. That was a 3-year TIF project, that we had to get allocated all the funds before, 2026 because of the way the TIF runs and how funds are. We're gonna do that project in 3 different stages. We're in phase number 2 this year. Last year, after getting into it and working with a contractor, when it's pipes that are basically from the 60s, there's some concerns to me that we should just get this project done this year and not put it off another year. We had a water main breakup on the north end of this Second Street. I just feel that if we put this off, that we could end up with a catastrophe in the winter time and end up spending $10,000 or $15,000 to repair something. So when the auditors were here, I did mention this in the FHR meeting, that the water department basically has a reserve fund called for well rehabs, tower, big projects. It's $845,000. That the TIF would actually borrow from the water utility for 2 years. And and we know that the tip's guaranteed money every year. We charge a little bit of interest, so we make a little bit of money. We able to get this project done. So at the FHR meeting, I did bring this up, looking for their approval to approve basically a resolution taking the funds from the water utility, borrowing it to finish this project up, and paying them back in the next 2 years. So, you have any questions on that, Chairman? Or anybody else?
I'm just writing notes, so you might have to.
Yep, that's fine.
Starting and stopping.
Again, I think it's the best interest. We don't have any, we just did a well rehab. I feel very confident that our wells and towers are in good shape. So with that Second Street, that is the south end, which we're gonna we'll be completing this year if everything goes through. The north end is the one we've been talking about, CGB grants, through MSA and other things. That application form, is due in May. We had a resolution that went to FHR, basically asking to make sure that with the grant, there's obviously a matching funds for that the village could get that from a local bank if they needed to. So that resolution went to FHR. Again, that's not accepting the project yet. That is just basically accepting the part of the process to go on the application. If the village is awarded the CDB grant, which is supposed to be in June or July, we'd have a full motion come back through Public Works, through the village board, accepting the grant, accepting the funds, and accepting, at that point, borrowing the difference that we need to make up for the percentage and where that funds would come from. So this resolution that we passed is not stating that we're doing any of the project, it's just stating that we can get the funds if we needed to.
We just went through one like that at the airport too.
So, as you guys know, I've been talking about, this whole Second Street North project, I'm trying to have a year to get everything together, so that we can really come and have a good hard motion. It's something new to me, with the village never borrowed for roads, and it's new to you guys, it's new to everybody here, so I'm trying to do it in slow process that we can educate everybody and make the best decision towards the end of this year if we want to move ahead with this project. So getting into our summer projects, I will just stroll around the other day with our chip seal salesman, getting some of those roads priced down. Rode around with the blacktop guy the other day, getting the patches, different areas that I feel need to get repaired. We picked up the road paint today. So I look to have next month, normally in April or May, I can give you guys a complete breakdown of the different projects and the cost, so that you guys can see what's gonna happen. Like I said, I'm just getting all the numbers in. Obviously, we battled some storms here lately. The guys did a heck of a job, the crew did, with the amount of storm. And when it all came down, I know there was some talk about disaster money, things like that. We worked, each guy maybe had 8 to 10 hours of overtime, that Sunday afternoon. Other than that, we basically were back on Monday on straight time. So kudos to the crew. They, like I said, other than working Sunday overtime, they did everything else in their normal day. So want to make sure I award all those guys. They did a great job with the amount of snow they had. We didn't have any breakdowns, so I think that was a good dodge.
Just a little heads up though, when it comes to, you do have the authority, my feeling, to pay, make a differential, but just keep FHR chairman, I'm sure you do, advised of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically we started our normal brush pickup this week. They're all picking up brush.
Long time, God, my pile's been covered 3 different times in the.
I'm sorry, we hit
From the
snow. So that's gonna be continuing, and right now I've got it scheduled for the following week to start grass and leaf pickup. We're just gonna get through this next storm here the next 24 hours, and then we're gonna get the sucker box on that truck and get that thing ready to go here in the next week. So I don't see any major issues coming up. I know there was some sod repairs and different things in the alley, and the guy's been out picking up those, cleaning things up, trying to get everything ready for summer. So that's basically the extent of my report, unless you guys have any questions.
Thank you, sir. Okay, without objection, I'm gonna take 10, 11, and 12 all together. Whole business kind of stands out by itself, but when we have a new business item, let's say Lon brings up something, he describes it. Okay, we don't get into discussion on it. We go, do you think it's, well, you know, should it go to the committee, bring it back as an agenda item? Or ahead of time, let's say 3 days ago, something happened and you needed an agenda, then call the chairman, or if I'm not present, the president to get it on our agenda. Cause, we tend to, there's no rule against discussing something in new business. However, when you start getting into this, well, I don't think that's right. I think we should be going out here and we should be doing this. That's where the problem could arise. So, and that, yes, I'm bringing down stuff with the county boards going through too, you know? And, same with correspondence. That's the biggie. A couple municipalities have gotten in issues with that because they're actually discussing it. The person that brings it up, that could be the public. You know, and, you gotta be careful because then all of a sudden Joe Zerflu's pissed off because he didn't know they were gonna discuss that because it's not on here, just a housekeeping. In old business, my personal feeling, if anything, if, let's say we discuss something on the budget and we didn't take a motion, nothing, but we just settled it down. Then Betsy calls me and says, or Lon, you know, hey, we forgot one big thing in our discussion. We didn't take any action. Then under old business, it should have number one, you know, describing it, discuss and possible action. You know, that way people know that stuff. So,
Yeah, I know,
Yeah, I
my bad,
agree.
last month PLP was supposed to, make an ordinance change, getting rid of, the new business on the board agenda, and it was my bad, I missed it, so I know PLP next month will be, updating the ordinance to get rid of new business in our ordinance, so I was,
and remember, if you forget something, you got 24 hours to change, as long as it's posted 24 hours. And if it's an emergency, 2 hours is all you need. You know, and stuff like that. So there's different ways to get around it, but I don't know why. I think a lot of these questions about correspondence, new business and everything ends up being not because what Port Public Works is talking about. It's some other, like a county board issue or something comes up, and it's coming from the media. No one's ever gonna convince me otherwise that it's not, they're not at least involved in it, you know? Cause it's one thing that they don't like to do is to be left out of a discussion if it's gonna sell them papers, so. Lon, you're gonna say something?
Well, yeah, I think it's a good idea, because I mean, even when you get public comment and you really, I mean, they bring up comment and then really, I don't think that we should discuss that until the next meeting when we have it on the agenda, if we decide to discuss it.
Exactly.
And it gets kind of frustrating, I know, and I know the public, I like to have the public here and I like to have them involved. But when they start bringing up topics that really we don't have the insight to already, or have more information to give them that information, or have the time to do it, it kind of puts us in a spot for discussion. And yeah, I agree. I think that's,
So, and then people have gotta know that, any of us could, that are on the committee could ask them a question to clarify something, but they cannot then ask us, you know, back. So,
so, yeah, I agree.
so it's just my pet peeve, I guess. I agree with Lance Plimmel, that's where he's going. Anything on that? Done?
so the only thing is I would like to add underneath, it's not, I guess maybe new business is, we were out, I know Rangeline every year brings up a hot topic. I did get out there the other day. We did patch Rangeline. So if you guys do get any calls, we were out there and, did our best we could to make sure that road was patched up here last week.
And you violated nothing.
So.
Case closed. Lon could say, or Betsy, you know, hey, I think we should talk about that at our next meeting. Okay, it's on the agenda. Case closed.
Yep.
Very good. Good point. Any of you guys have anything to say?
No, that's fine. I think the village crew's doing a good job getting things taken care of. During that last snowfall, I had to go to Dodge County the day after, and as soon as I got out of port, the roads were kind of bad, all the way actually down to Dodge County, which took me 3 hours instead of 2,
Rapids was just a pit.
right? So
Oh my God.
Whatever
Of
you
course, a lot
guys-
of that's because of all the traffic too, you know.
whatever you guys did, I mean, you were right on the ball, and,
Yeah, I got a lot of compliments about how our roads were, I mean, taken care of early on so people could get to work if they had to go to work and, you know, all those things. So I got a lot of compliments.
Well, definitely,
way.
those guys were rewarded. They did a great job. So, no, thanks for the information. I'll definitely pass it on to them also.
and I don't have anything.
Agenda items for our next meeting, we won't go into that because I might not be on this committee and I might not be the chair of this committee. So we will just, that'll be a work in progress. Is that okay, Madam Chair or Madam President?
Fine with me.
Okay. Been a pleasure, been a lot of fun. And, one thing I am, if I'm a chair, put in the agenda is to make an official motion to the board from this committee to officially make it legal that your title is village administrator. Nothing to say about Department of Public Works anymore. Because there's a few things I've been reading up on that, just by having a title doesn't make you a whiz, but you're already doing a lot of crap that hadn't been done by some guys that were educated in whizzes. And, I think you should be commended, and part of that is the official title.
I agree with that. Just we have to make sure that in FHR and PLP that it just reflects that the village admin, like how that would look under all of that stuff.
I
Like
think we
the
need to
job
get that
descriptions,
done
kind of stuff.
in the next month or 2.
So this committee will make it official because, you know, other committees, they sometimes lose it unless it's in writing. You know what I mean? So, we'll send it officially to, Chairman Radke, and after we get him on board, then he can send it to, President Mansell, because those two really, you know, they're two peas in the pod. I'm just wound up. I had my first beer in 2 months the other night.
Are we still in the meeting or are we adjourned?
All right, without objection, I will declare the meeting adjourned at 4:49.
Okay.
I beat you by 8 minutes.